Lives in the mirror, shielded by fate. Everyone goes on their way, living in fear. Our price has been paid. No one can stand in our way. Oh, take a look into the fire. Our lives have been gone. Oh, in time we will find a grace in the sun.
And welcome everybody to the big esports conference. Of course, we got two teams for you today, but first we got to talk about our two casters on screen, myself, Edu, and Sam Talk. Sam, how you feeling today?
Feeling pretty good, Edu. We got a really great series ahead of us tonight, and one that I think is, for week 5, going to really start setting the bar and the tone for what we're going to be looking at, especially into the potential future weeks.
Yeah, it is going to be a pretty important game. We got Northwestern versus Maryland, and you were talking about stats, and apparently one of these teams had 13-0'd another team going on in this big esports conference, so can't really wait to see if that is going to be repeatable. I mean, it's not easy to 13-0 a team, so hopefully they are going to be bringing that heat, but I'm pretty excited to see what maps they are going to be leading us into as well.
Yeah, I'm excited to see that as well. You know, going off of that, the Maryland has been having an insane series, an insane Big East conference so far, right? When we talk about how they've been doing, they are the team that was able to get that 13-0, but they've also only really played 2 games so far, right? 2 whole series, 2 maps they've managed to go perfect on. And then you look over at Northwestern University, right? They're 1-4, but those are 1-4 games that they played, right? Those are games that they went through. They've been forward to the fire and flames, and they've worked really hard at making that happen. But Edgy, we saw right there a little bit on the map screen what we are going to be playing on for tonight. And I mean, it's a pretty standard map pool, right? Ascend, Bind, Haven.
Yeah, having those be the map picks, I mean, it's kind of just what you would expect from any, base level esports event at Valorant. I mean, Haven is a no-brainer, always going to be picked. Ascent is one of the runner-ups, and then Bind as a decider or another pick is also pretty common. We're not going to see any of those fancy maps like Lotus. We're not going to see Breeze, any of the maps that were in the pool before. But actually, let's take a look at the teams here, Northwestern and Maryland. We do know their starting lineup, so we know who is going to be on these teams here. Any names recognized by you? Because I actually quite recognize, I think, 3 of the players on both sides.
Yeah, I'm seeing at the very least for Maryland, Dusty XO. They've been a part of the Maryland roster for a little while now, and continuing to move forward with it here for Terps Esports. And then for Northwestern, personally, I also kind of recognize Zia. So these are some pretty decent players that they have on each team. And once again, talking about Northwestern, right? They may be 1-4, but those maps they have managed to, at the very least, take them to those 2-1 score lines most of the time that we've seen them play.
Yeah, I honestly, I like that. I'm seeing some players like Psycho Pop. I've actually seen them compete in the tier 3 scene behind the scenes on other teams besides their collegiate, and also Dino Sus. These two teammates I've seen kind of duke it out together, maybe even against each other or on the same team. But it's really nice to see them go in. But talking about going in, let's talk about Haven, where we're going to be going on for Agent Select and hopefully finding out what they are going to be picking here.
Yeah, starting off with the map of Haven, and things are already looking, at the very least, pretty standard over here on the side of Northwestern. You see that standard composition. You got your usual initiators, you got your usual smokes, Dino Sauce hovering over on that KJ, Mio Akiyama on that Jet. On the flip side, guess what? A pure mirror matchup between these two teams. Haven, right at you, it's solved. We know everything there is to know about Haven. We know what agents work really well here. Typically, the biggest difference that we see is probably in the controllers. Usually, you would either see Omen or Astra. Both teams deciding, hey, Omen is the play.
Yeah, I think Omen is, in my opinion, a little bit of a better agent on this map, just because this is a big map. You're going to want to have the ability to quickly rotate, and that's what Omen does. So I like the pick. I like that we're going to be jumping into this game with, honestly, some pretty standard team compositions. As you said, this map has been solved here, Sam. But I do want to point out, when it comes to how this team composition works, defense is a slight boost in this team composition, but overall, Haven is an attack-sided map by just barely a percentile there. So it's anybody's game starting us off here. So I just want to see some great gameplay from these guys. I mean, at this stage in the big esports conference, you got a lot to prove. And hopefully they're going to be proving their skills as we are getting right into pistol round.
Yeah, and obviously during these pistol rounds, you're going to get an idea of what the strategy is going to be. And it looks like straight up on to be as fast as you can. Mio Akiyama going to be the one to tailwind up on the high ground. Try to eliminate Jinho, realizing where they are, that Frenzy is going to come in big time, big ways. be able to get that first blood onto the breach, get them out of here. Spike is going to be planted, and now for the site retake is going to be on the shoulders of University of Maryland.
Wow, already just a lot of frags coming out early. We got now 2 players remaining. Maggie might be able to do something about this, but it's not going to be easy, Sam. And unfortunately, there is going to be dabs getting them gunned down. Now 1 player left. The bomb is not going to be easily defused, but we're seeing some life get sapped from them. Clean headshot, might do it again, and that is the round. Attackers taking it, but I will say that Killjoy put up hell of a fight.
That they did. An impressive one, to say the very least. When you want your Sentinel to be doing things like that, well, Remagi, very well done. It's still a round that could have gone, I think, a little bit better here for Northwestern, obviously, but still able to pull it out in the fashion that they did. Really clean engagement, right? Really fast push onto B, kind of through University of Maryland on the back foot, and especially when you think about it as well, these early rounds, KJ doesn't have all of her utility set up, so it's easier for them to break onto the site.
Yeah, honestly, I like what we've seen from these guys, but it is only going to be round 1. So that doesn't exactly tell us what the game's going to go, but it is going to show us here with another double kill defense. They've actually taken the lead when it comes to life, but they still don't have the best weapons, but doesn't matter. The Stinger's going to come up big, grabbing Zia down, and that is Dino Sauce being able to grab a Rumagi and another player of the breach. Where is Dusty? Where is this team trying to work together? The bomb is down on site here, Sam, and that is 55 damage right to the torso, leaving both of these players on attack not exactly in the optimal position to get on site.
No, it's going to be very difficult for them to make that happen. The spike is right in front of them, but also right in front of them, the final 2 remaining members of University of Maryland, and proving to be a very scary round for them. The turret's going to gather that little smidge of information, and you're going to see the concuss come through from dabs, making that swing right through. Dino Sauce is 1. That's all they're going to be rewarded for with their efforts. And a thrifty round here for University of Maryland as they answer back in a huge way against Northwestern University.
Yeah, that's a big answer there. Being able to immediately take second round kind of puts them on top of the board right now. Just momentum-wise, if you are able to do that, you're going to be very happy about the next few rounds. As defense, I believe, actually gets the full buy. In attack, the people who won pistol are left the scraps here, Sam. They're rocking pistols, and that's it. You know, hopefully we can see Dino Sauce pop off with that Sheriff. I've seen this player in other tournaments, but I need to see if they're good enough to carry against full rifles.
It's going to be tough, right? It's going to be really tough. And look at this 2-player defense of A long. It's going to make it so difficult for them to be able to actually make that push happen. Right here. You're going to wonder if something could be done in sewers, but Jin Ho they're just waiting patiently. They're going to be the bulwark, the defense that's going to make sure that anyone who comes through is going to be punished for their efforts. They're going to find the 1 Psycho Pump, though, with that classic in hand, is going to get a kill and a weapon upgrade to go along with it. Shadow stepping over onto the other side. Over to the other side, inside of sewers.
I like this play, being able to just kind of walk back and forth. They managed to take a little bit of damage, and defense is just here with it. Dusty, you can do it again. You are going to be able to get into a better angle, and with that combination of the recon dart, they know where the last 2 are, and these last 2 are going to get beaten down there. Something about this defensive team, I mean, I think it's the rifles in their hand maybe, but it is something not exactly easy to push into. However, Sam, this is where we're going to be seeing attack finally have a leg to stand on. They get their buy round. They get the rifles back in their hand, and actually very close to Dino Sauce's ultimate there. And if they can get that lockdown, they might be able to just secure a post plan here.
Sitting at that 6 out of 9 ultimate points, needing to pick up 3 more to get that. Should theoretically be possible here, right? Pick up this one and then just go around, start farming the rest of these ult orbs. You're seeing the poke out towards B. Zia looking for an engagement over here. Send a lot of damage, but they do survive through it, which I think is the most important thing here. They gathered a lot of information, and it kind of may put Northwestern University on this back foot where they're still trying to decide where exactly they want to go.
Well, to help them decide where they're going to be heading, they are sending out the Owl drone to scout it out for them. They're not actually getting much information from that, though, so they might think that B is clear, but they're still going to take it extra safe. And what a nice smoke. It actually blocked the player from getting flashbang, so defense. Even though lots of util has been used by attack, they haven't used too much, and Dusty is going to open it up with a great flank, takes out Dino Sauce, and there goes their unfortunate chance at having that post plant be almost guaranteed with the KJ. And we could probably just see the bomb get stuck if they keep smoking it off for their team. And yeah, we are going to be seeing them tap the bomb, scare these players back. We got a Sova on the flank, and the Jets, who we're going to look at, a double kill there. Beautiful job. Another headshot. Another one, this time from Zia. 2v2, and the bomb's getting stuck. Sind is here, but they have to get on the bomb, and that is too little too late. Great round from them, Sam.
Yeah, Zia with the 3K, obviously, to close things off there. A little bit scary, especially when you look at Dino Sauce getting eliminated so early on. You were talking about the post plant. It's going to be that much more difficult for Northwestern to have held, but they did hold. Most importantly, I think, is the big thing to talk about. Mio Akiyama, a double kill to really equalize the numbers back out. And even though Sind was also doing a lot of work for themselves, right back on the flip side, Zia securing those 3 kills kind of set things up perfectly, right, for Northwestern to just continue that roll through. Now we're looking at 2-2 for this series so far.
Yeah, great util usage is going to scare these attackers back a bit. Actually, a little bit of damage dealt to Dino Sauce as well, but Dino's not done yet. Still standing, we still can get some kills. Does have their ultimate if they want to try to take another site, but defense doesn't care. This Omen and Jet combo is just running it down, but is it going to pay off? It looks like it's not. Dusty gets a little bit too aggro and does get picked off. Zia will also grab another player down. Jino is down, and that is not what defense wanted. This over-aggression has just given the attackers a huge advantage early into this round.
Numbers are big time in the favor of Northwestern University. Cyber looking towards Garage, knowing that at any possible angle they could be breathed down upon. They put down the smoke, give themselves a little bit of that cover. Zia may have fallen, but Dino Sauce is going to pick up the trade almost immediately. Spike now to be planted on this C site. And in this 2v4, it's going to be so difficult here for Sind and Remagi to make this work. They're going to have to.
If they want to make it work, they're going to have to not take knives to the face. Unfortunately, they didn't read that in the memo book, but we do have Mio still wanting to throw some more knives. Are they going to be able to find this final player? Looks like that player finds them, but gives away their position, and the Jet is coming right for them. The jump, the knives, and yeah, more knives. It's a Blade Storm, and that is exactly what was on the forecast for us today. But attack, they've done a great job to take it back from defense. So far, I would argue that this is going to be a very close game if defense just gets back into the groove that they had.
Right, it's all about getting back into that groove, remembering what you were able to do in the second round, and somehow transferring that here into this current 6th round. It's going to be difficult, especially with how aggressive that Northwestern has been playing. University of Maryland just really hasn't been able to catch those angles. And when we're talking about Haven being an attacker-sided map, this is kind of what we're seeing here, right? You push that aggressiveness, you push fast, and it throws them off so much that they really can't find too many of those answers that they can respond with against Northwestern.
The damage being dealt, but oh, I love the Hunter's Fury. It's a very aggressive play. It's better if you don't hit your teammates, but if you get a kill for it, it might be worth it. Great angle there. Takes out the enemy Sova, so a little bit of a Sova diff, the cherry on top in that moment. But defense, they have more ultimates to use. The Blade Storm has been popped here, Sam, and it is anchored on B, so if they want to start fighting knives versus bullets, I mean, don't bring a knife to a gunfight. If you're Jet, it's completely the opposite.
It really is completely the opposite, right? Still, we're going to see that A approach, splitting V-dubs by themselves now, joined up with their Omen 2 inside of sewers. This numbers disadvantage starting to feel that a little bit more, and you don't have that Sova. You can't gather that information just as easily, but here's that lockdown, putting the pressure onto Dusty. Look how fast they're going in. They just couldn't even do anything. They were trying desperately to throw any knives to land onto Mio. They did do a lot of damage to them, but 50 HP, Spike is going to be planted, and now we're looking at the 4v4.
Yeah. So maybe I was wrong Don't bring a knife to a gunfight or maybe just know how to use the knives. But what we do know how to use is a recon dart that should be getting a lot of information for this team. They got flashbangs, they got a bunch of retake power, but they're going to have to work together here. And Psycho Pump just pumps him full and takes him all the way down from heaven. Might be able to do it again. This angle is just so deadly against these smokes, and should be able to find another one. Psycho Pump does it again and again and again, as attackers are going to be taking that round. In defense, they started off strong, but something just broke them.
This place is nice, but not nice enough to die in. Let's win and get out of here.
Again, it all comes back to talking about how Northwestern is playing this map. It's not giving University of Maryland really any time to think, even in moments where they get an early initial pick. It's Northwestern able to go on so fast, and you have to give a lot of props to Mio on this jet. Being able to throw off not only your mirror matchup, but then to kill them is massive in being able to help the rest of your team be able to secure these sites. And then we're also seeing kind of the power of having this double initiator setup once again with the Sova and the Breach. Sure, you don't have the Sova that you're able to gather the information, but then it doesn't really matter when you have a lockdown that's able to get you onto the site, that's able to get you the spike planted, and then it's able to help you when it comes to the post-site setup. And so when we're seeing more of these rounds go forward, University of Maryland really needs to start figuring out how they want to tool this aggression, curb this aggression from Northwestern. And I think that's what this timeout is all about, Edgy, right? This is all about getting that communication out there. What's going on here and how do we handle this?
Well, the main way to answer that is you have to reflect. You have to ask yourselves, where did they go wrong? I mean, they had the Blade Storm get popped, and the aim just wasn't there. Is it the fact that they just aren't hitting their shots right now? Are they getting a little bit slowed down? Do they need to take a quick break and start shooting at sprays on the walls for practice? I mean, what do you do in this position besides, maybe start grouping up? Because here's the main thing. If your aim at one time is not the best, rely on the fact that you have numbers, okay? They have to push a site. Start stacking sites. We have 3 bodies on A right now. B completely left alone. And that's the smart play here, because B, the easiest to retake. So I like what they're doing here. They've already adapted to the fact that, hey, if we're not winning our 1v1s, let's make them 2v1s. Let's take the cake here. And yeah, B is going to get taken, but their retake power in this buy round is enormous with how much utility they have.
And look how far they've already scaled up there. And like you said, the utility, the owl drone goes in, Mio taking a familiar position once more up on the higher ground before they go low, realizing that, hey, this is completely free sight. Spike is going to be set up for the post plant, but walking right through, Mio is going to get their head ripped off their shoulders. And now coming up through the flank. I don't think Northwestern is going to be ready for this. Oh, I say that, but they are.
Nice. Good exchange of kills there. Now I'm putting us back into a 2v2. Defense KJ is going to pop an ultimate that will scare them back. Should be able to get the bomb halfway, but it doesn't actually cover here. And that's going to be 1 and 2. Unfortunately, sticking it all together, the body block didn't work, and attackers will be taking another round from defense. And Sam, after a timeout, you don't want to lose a round, because that is, it kind of tells me that your best strat that you could have thought of in a 60-second time, in a time where you are separated from the game for a little bit, wasn't good enough. And that scares you as a team, and that could impact their morals. Or not morals, sorry. their motivation.
It does, right? But then you also had to think about the weapons that they had. It was still kind of a safe round for them, and they managed to get 3 off the board from Northwestern. And so now looking at this, when they have the rifles in hand, they gotta be able to do something here. This is where we're really gonna start seeing it, but it becomes that much more difficult when the Rolling Thunder goes through, ultimates are being expended. The bright side here for University of Maryland is that really no one was on site, and so they may have given it up, but they have the full 5 for this site retake.
Take flight.
And if you got 5, you might be able to make it work, but they did have full 5 last time for the site retake, so that is going to scare me a bit. They have an Odin and an Op this time, so that might change things just a little bit. Obviously, the Odin, a very powerful weapon to scare these players back. Haven is a little thin when it comes to that sewer side, but it looks like we're having a huge ultimate to get him off the bomb. Is it going to get any more kills? No, but it does do a ton of damage, and that's going to allow Mio to just get all the kills. 3 and 1 remaining. Remagi spotted and killed by a classic 4K. Jeez.
That post plant setup was nothing short of spectacular, Edu. The second they planted the spike, they got off of it, and they were relying so much on the ultimate of Zia. And guess what? It paid off in spades. It paid off massively because it may not have killed anyone, but it softened them up for Mio to just completely wreck everyone that comes through. A fantastic showing from them and a fantastic understanding of how they wanted to go about taking that site.
Yeah, that's pretty much pixel perfect when it comes to how they played it. And now they're getting some pixel perfect wall bangs, dropping Cyber down to 4 HP, gets double dinged by an Odin. And that's why I love that gun. It's always nice to just have all of your HP removed because you were standing in the wrong square. But case in point, they do it again. Sam, they do it again. Odin, what a gun. All right, obviously lots of people have choice words about it, but I love it. And right now I love the fact that they are going right into a double B. But what is that swing? Jimbo, so risky.
One enemy remaining.
They just wanted to go out there, take the fight. Now Cyber by themselves. Actually, they only have 4 HP.
Well, now they have none.
No HP.
Shock. Yeah, shock dart. I mean, I don't think Zia even spotted a single person that round and yet got 2 kills. Just using their intuition and the power of wall bangs completely crippled that team. So that's what I like to see. Great job here. What they need to do is what they did do, and well played.
It was well played again and again and again. What does Northwestern University do? They press the W key and then they just keep going. Mio, also a fantastic player in their own right. Currently 14-5, a dominating Jet performance on Attack Haven, regardless of ever how you cut it. They're so beautiful at dominating the scene, and then it just keeps compounding as Dino Sauce wins out in the lurk game. Mio finding one of their own. They may have been traded out here with Jinho on this A site, but you're seeing what Northwestern is doing when they have the confidence flowing through their veins, Edu.
Yeah, I mean, confidence is king in this game here, Sam. But what I am very confident about is that a C plant is very tough to hold, but it doesn't matter. Cyber is going to grab Dino Sauce, and without that Killjoy, the post plant's not going to be easy, but they've proven that they don't need the Killjoy to clutch rounds, but they might need to just have the bomb planted and stop this very aggressive push, and
Enemy remaining.
they do. Oh, they do. 2-8 now scoreline,
precise.
and this is scary. This is not what you want to experience if you're on a defense side. You want to at least take 1 or 2 rounds, behind, not 1 or 2 rounds in total. It's fine to go 7-5 on Haven. It's not fine to go 2-8.
And we're really also starting to see maybe that perhaps Northwestern University having a few more games on University of Maryland is really starting to help them out, right? They're still at that 1-4, but again, I'm going to echo this sentiment. 1-4 that was fought through blood and tears and sweat. And so that gives them that experience, that gives them that little bit of an extra edge.
Ooh, lots of edge. Lots of edge on those bullets, just cutting right through. Remagi there. Right, gonna have to reimagine that player being alive, but unfortunately for this round, that's another defense down, a player on a retake. I mean, we've said that a lot here, Sam. It's been a lot of repetition because this team on attack knows exactly what they want to do and should be able to just keep this round cooking for themselves. But are they gonna do it? Dusty grabs 1 and grabs none afterwards.
Mio Akiyama bringing out the blaze, just backing away. Again, we're seeing this post-site setup as they just want to play through lane, play through long, just have that engagement there, realizing that the weapons also that University of Maryland is working with gonna make things so difficult for them. Spotted out by the recon dart. Mio Akiyama does not care. They're just gonna start firing through it. Spike is gonna be starting to defuse. Jinho trying to stick it. Try, though, is the key word. The bullets were flying at them 1,000,000 miles a minute, a million bullets a minute too, it felt like. And now we're looking at the last round of the half, 9-2, Edu.
Wow. I mean, 9-2 might be a 9-3. Obviously, attack and defense both have a bye round at this point. But Mio gets themselves an op, and that op is scary on attack, but it could make or break this round because you can't really push in with an op. So if you don't have someone like Psychopomp or Dabs getting in with the damage, you're not going to be able to touch that site. So it's a hit or miss play, and they're just going for it on C. Obviously, C long is where you want to bring that op. but no one's going to be peeking it right now. And they get a free ultimate orb. Now, Dino Sauce, if they can get the other orb, should be able to set themselves up with an easy ultimate to lock down this half.
Yeah, and you're seeing that they're kind of default all over inside of their spawn right now. They're really trying to rely on that Neo operator to find a pick, but realizing that they're not going to get any heads there, they're just going to back away. And again, this is also the thing for Northwestern. They know when to go fast, but they also know how to slow down. This might be speeding up big time. Dusty, the Knives are going to be able to find their target. Now to follow it up through, Dusty picks up another. Maybe be able to go up there on the high ground, but Dusty finally activated, picks up 3 kills before finally being brought down by their mirror.
All right. This is exactly the kind of playstyle I want to be looking at here, but 2-9, 3v2. They have the Omen ultimate that should be able to get them just enough info if the bomb ever does find a site to call itself home. A site left alone outside of just one Silva near stairs. But again, Mio needs to probably drop that off and switch it to something big because they're a last player standing. You're not going to be able to clutch with that. And they're just going for it. This is such a risk. 13 seconds, Sam.
10 seconds
13
left.
seconds. They're running out of time. They're really just wanting to sping it. One bullet flies true into Sin. Maybe another one there. How are you doing this, Mio? You've run out of time. Cyber realizing this, just gonna play the time game. Doesn't really matter for them at this point, as long as they can go into the next half. 9-3. Not quite, I'm guessing, what University of Maryland was hoping for, but you remember, they took that time out, and still somehow Northwestern was able to hold on and continue to compound rounds after that continuously. So now we're going to see if Northwestern is able to keep up this momentum on the defense, or if their attack was just that good that they're not going to be able to find that magic here.
Yeah, honestly, I think what happened on attack was just that they were able to penetrate through the 1 or 2 people, because Haven is a map that splits you very thin. If you have 5 players and there's 3 sites, there's no way that all sites can be doubled up. And if you can't double up those sites that were picked, the way that attack had chosen every single time to just find the correct point where there weren't more than 1 player and just get a free life advantage and just take that player out was huge. But if they can keep that going, then they just win the game here. And jeez, this is something different. Dusty back online with a double kill.
Back online with the double kill, continuing the momentum they built up in the last round. Coming up on the flank, Zia might be able to come up massively here. They're going to use a shock dart, but that's going to be maybe a mistake. I say maybe until Mio picks up 3. Now, a breach versus a breach. Jinho has the long range. And it does look like, yes, there it is. Yes. The attack was just what University of Maryland needed, winning out in that pistol round.
Yeah, I mean, that's what they needed to do, and now they have to keep it going. But I gotta remind you, last time that we saw the pistol round, it did go over to the other side, and this time taking it, this is an early advantage for them. They were able to really bring this back, and hopefully this is the start of something new. Maybe it's just easier to be on attack. Maybe I was wrong about this map being a 50-50 when it comes to the sidedness. Maybe these players are attack sided and they just want to get aggressive, and looks like that's the plan. They're going for a slight default. They don't want to lose any of these guns. We did see some force ups here. Mio is going to be buying big, but there is Cyber going the wrong direction around the box, and that's going to be a trade-off. 1 there, but a lot more damage. And what a gun! Classic, it's free, just like that kill. You can't just be bunny hopping, getting domed like that.
No, he can't be. It's now a big, massive disaster. Mia, the second they peek, Dusty is just going to send one of those bullets right into their face. A fantastic show of force here. And most importantly, I think talking about it when we look at the anti-eco round for what Northwestern went through in their own, University of Maryland was at the very least able to answer this second round in the first half, but in the second round of the second half, no, University of Maryland ran away with it, and it ran away with it massively.
Yeah, I mean, that's what you have to do. Right now, they've managed to take the first 2 rounds. We're not seeing the same curve that we did in game or first half, but I will say Dusty should be able to find some easy picks here. Guardian is a great weapon on a bonus round to have, and should be able to find a little bit of success if they just split up, search for clues, do it exactly how the Scooby Gang would,
Bomb
but
grenade out.
an Ares in the hand of a KJ. How do you feel about that? Because in my opinion, Ares is not the best aggressive type beat weapon.
Strange, a little bit, right? But I guess as long as you're able to use the weapon and as long as you're able to get the kills, then I guess it's really all that matters. Zia, they're definitely getting some kills. Gonna be blinded, looking towards hanging out toward the box, but now the aftershock gonna flush them away. Jinho more than happy to pick up a kill on this Sova. That's gonna give them their entryway onto A. Do have the 4v4, but the site is basically empty. As soon as they clear through it, they're going to be able to plant the spike. Jinho may be able to pick up another one here on Mio, but they're going to wait for the reinforcements rather than taking this fight.
I think that's a smart idea. Obviously, you want to group up before you go in. I mean, that's Valorant 101 here, but, you know, is this a college level course? No, but it is college level Valorant, so let's see if these collegiate teams can start running it down. Lots of util being chucked into hell, and it looks like another player's chucked into hell. Psychopomp will be sending Jinho there after the trade. Another one on a Sind, and Psycho, you can do it. You just have to get these players off their guard, gives away their position. And that's a big bulldog play. Grabs one attack. They have to push these players back, but there's not a whole lot of time remaining for them if they can keep this defusal going. And there's one. There's two. That's why I love the Guardian. And that sets us up with a bonus round win and a huge comeback in this half.
Where are we going this time? Remember what worked in the past.
You won the bonus, right? You won the bonus. Now you're continuing that momentum. It really does feel like both of these teams are just set up for attack. Northwestern University is kind of suffering the plague that was set against them that University of Maryland started with. You put them into some really awkward positions, right? And you can even look maybe at Zia. Sure, they got that early pick off at the very beginning of the round. They got that first blood, but they were stuck in such a rough position that there was no way they could get out. Now the economy's broken. This should be at the very least an easier pickup for University of Maryland, especially when you get first bloods like that.
Oh, and we are going to be seeing a lot of blood being spilt yet again. Dusty grabs one, but Psychopomp, the player who got a ton of multi-kills in the third round, is now doing it again here. So what is the Omen to do now? They found a weapon. It looks like they're going to be anchoring the seaside attack. Recognizing that, walking right into Dabs, but Dabs whiffs 2 shots, but misses none more. Gets one pick down, might be able to do it again, but no, the blind's just too big, and that will be a Cyber getting another pick. These Omens really just being crucial. Psychopomp popping the from the shadows to get right into long, a very aggressive play style, but if it works, it pays off massive, and it will. There's Remagi, but oh no, 6 HP. 2 players, 2v2, and Cyber's camp in heaven. Nice knife. Keep inspecting it. There's going to be one remaining. Just the Sova. Or just the Omen, sorry. Stuck in long, 6 HP.
6 HP. They're peeking their way through. Sin, the timing!
Remaining.
Psychobomb might actually still be able to do this. It's a very distinct possibility. Cyber being smoked off. They're going to try and ping out the spike. Going to shadow step their way inside of it. But they're both of these Omens. They're so desperate in trying to be able to find each other. Psychobomb's going to stick the spike. They really had no other option. The Cyber sees that as their perfect opportunity to find their 4th kill. And now, Edu, this scoreline is starting to look dangerously close.
Yeah, this is not going to be the best type of round for them, but 7-9, I will say, if you're on defense right now, where did you go wrong? What's the problem? I think the last round is, you know, arguably understandable that they didn't win that one. I mean, they walked in with such little weaponry, but what Psycho Pomp would do there was insane. So right now, as of this stage in the game, this is when I'd expect a timeout if they don't win this. If you lose the first 5 rounds and a half, you're calling a timeout. You're not going to let this get to you too long. But Mio, the defense, they need to start really picking up the pace here and start just getting these frags.
They really do, and it's an all-out warfare in mid before we're finally seeing that garage push happen. Oh, the aftershock is perfect from V-Dubs. Unfortunately, they are going to pay for it with their life, and inside of window, and it's going to be a battle for the ages once more. Still, C is looking like something might happen here, but Psychopomp is ready to go. These Omens are biting at each other with furious force. But still, Spike going to be planted, and now we're looking at the 2v2.
Got Dino Sauce trying to push right in. Both of these players are kind of setting themselves up, and if Cyber has the timing, they should be able to find this pick. Smoke isn't going to last for much longer.
Enemy remaining.
They don't care. They're going to walk right into it. Leaving only 2 remaining. Mio versus Reach and Omen. Jinho has their ultimate. Doubt they're going to use it here. The bomb's planted for them. They have all the time in the world. But they're playing extra far back. So Mio might be able to get it halved. They have no idea where these guys are. So it's going to be a pretty slow approach. And now they have to stick it. And no way. We are going to be seeing a Rolling Thunder. That's just mean. They just chuck it and leave.
I guess that could kind of be considered a victory here for Northwestern. You managed to get the Rolling Thunder. Also, this is basically just like ultimates all banked up across the board too here for University of Maryland. They have so much in their pocket that they can use to take this fight to Northwestern. I mean, they have blades, they have the lockdown, they can step into the shadows, and of course the Hunter's Fury. So many different options that they can use to either engage onto the site or to be able to protect it during the post plant. And so I think expending some more of these ultimates rather than doing crazy things with the Rolling Thunder, possibility.
Oh, that's a lot of damage though. Dusty grabs Mio yet again, and I don't think Attack wants to let up their streak of victory. And unless Z1A can get some picks here, we should be having a little bit of a problem for the side of them. They're kind of stuck in that corner, but Attack doesn't really mind it. They have 4 ultimates to work with. Defense has put a lot on the line to rotate into the A site, but that's given up B, or has it? Dino is going to get spotted out, and unfortunately not get the pick on a Jet means it's going to be free for them. ZIA grabs Sin down. We should be able to find more damage from these players, but defense, what can you do when you have no real utility outside of a Hunter's Fury to try to clear this site?
Northwestern is having a really difficult time on their defense. Z1A is finally going to use this Hunter's Fury. A couple of them sent out. And again, a small ping onto the teammate. Psycho Pump not finding any success so far, though. V-Dubs going to get massive value out of just firing through the smoke on the other hand. And we're going to see if maybe this flashbang can pick up some blindness here. Cyber ready and waiting with open arms. Z1A stunned out, concussed out, all alone by themselves. Basically no HP. This is going to be a very difficult position for them to win anything, making the very firm decision of backing out and saving their weapon.
This is going to be the first time that we see a save here, Bigfoot. Sorry, not Bigfoot. Sam, my brain. I was just casting some esports in Wales. But anyways, regardless of that, 2-1, it has to be a save. And unfortunately, the rest of this team doesn't have enough to buy out fully. They should be able to buy some rifles, but Dino Sauce is broke, Psycho Pop is broke, so they're not going to be able to get the weaponry that they want across the board. However, it's just enough that if they take their time and really just hold very tight crossfires, a Bulldog can one tap if you get a 3-burst headshot. Technically one tap. I mean, one tap of the finger. But Attack, they don't really care what defense can do. They only care about what they're doing, and they are rocking it right now in tying up this game so early on into this half.
It is going to be really scary, though, when Mio Akiyama has an operator in hand, and when Mio Akiyama is landing shots with those operator, like we just got a full demonstration of inside of sewers. Now, complete fear of this A. Give it up. Oh, Psycho Pop, you wanted to put down the dark cover. You wanted to protect yourself with the smokes. You just couldn't protect yourself with the bullets through the wall. C-Site now given up. C-Site now about to have a spike planted on it.
You should run.
Oh,
Big
but
ultimate,
wait.
though. That's going to scare them all back, and they try to counter it instead. They're using all of their ultimates down. Dusty is good for 2, and that's going to be Mio grabbing another one. Attack does not have the lockdown, and Dusty has to clutch up, but doesn't have it. Defense, they have stopped the streak right here, Sam. And now they get double digits, and now they get their first round in this half.
They get their first round in this half. That's insane to think about, right? Because not only is it this half, but one round in the previous half that University of Maryland has just had the streak that they needed to bring themselves back in this game. Not only bring themselves back in this game, Edu, but tie it up. And even still, their economy is booming. They are still able to make the buys. They are still able to get weapons in their hands. And disastrously enough for Northwestern, their buys still kind of piecemeal, not able to get the full shields they're looking for. And Mio, you really wanted to ego peek that. You really wanted to fight it with the attack operator or defense operator pushing through, but it just didn't work out for them there. Dusty How did you pick up a double kill just like that?
I think the answer is easily there, Sam. Dusty has been the main fragger in this half. Just turned up, turned on, and get all the frags. Now we are going to have the bomb planted right underneath Heaven. This is, in my opinion, the toughest to retake angle. And Remagi making sure no one's going to be able to lurk it. Is grabbing Dino Sauce. Well, Psycho Pump, you've managed to save the op, but can you save the round or the gun yet again? That's going to be one pick, but there should be a KJ running right through Garage. Psycho knows that they're stuck, knows that they're stunned, has to just go all aggro in this, and no real escape. Goes for the no scope and goes away for the round. Now we're tied up again, 10-10.
We're tied up again, 10-10. Northwestern, no money left to talk about, left to speak about here. I don't know what happens with these Jets, though, Edgy. You put them on attack, and things start looking so much better for them. Dusty was trailing behind Mio Akiyama, now with only in 4 kill distance of reaching what Mio has been able to do. And so now we're seeing a timeout here from Northwestern University. That was a round that they were thinking should have gone in their way, but you're seeing these ego peaks. You're seeing that the Northwestern wants to play kind of an aggressive game, looking for those early picks, but instead they are the ones to fall victim. And then not only to talk about that, Dusty, a double kill, walking up lane. It was kind of just like a perfect setup for them. Everything was just going in their favor, and maybe had Psycho Pump been able to hold on to that operator, could have potentially done something here in this round, but no, they lose it. They don't have it anymore. And we're seeing that timeout had to be activated, and Northwestern scrambling to find the solution to make sure that they don't lose out on a map that they were 9-3 on.
Yeah, I mean, this is a map where if you get an advantage when you're in a mirrored team composition, it doesn't mean much, because mirrored team comps mean, oh, if that team can do it, our team can do it. And that's the exact same energy that was brought immediately back. We're actually seeing a complete reverse sweep here. So if both teams get a 9-3 in the half, we're going to overtime. If it is destined to be just a complete flip of the script here, they should be in that position again. But if we watch over at defense, they are running it down. They want to get an early frag. They need to get that early frag because in so many of these situations, they've had to retake with a huge life disadvantage here. So with knives out and sheriffs in hand, this is not going to be easy, but they're going to have to do it as a team.
And then we're also seeing that Northwestern is starting to surround them on all sides, really looking to poke through that. Mio Akiyama, that's perfect. That's exactly what was needed to be done here by this Jet. Unfortunately, they couldn't make the magic happen twice. Jinho swinging around, taking that peek, and is going to set that spike down on the ground. Now, where Northwestern's job was hard, it's become that much more difficult.
Wow. Well, 4-4 makes it into a 4-3. Jinho grabs V-Dubs down and might be able to do it again, but ZIA is gone, and so is Psycho Pump. That is what we'd like to be watching here for the side of attack. Not what we want from defense, but I will say defense got themselves 2 kills and on the board. All they brought with them were pistols, sheriffs. That is exactly what they should do. Unfortunately, it's very difficult to Thrifty, especially against a team with so much momentum. So I understand this new position that they found themselves in, and I like the fact that they have adapted. They picked up another op here. We've seen a lot of ops change hands, but Mio, if you're going to be buying that op, I better see some players get dropped here.
Mio was able to do it. It's been a while since they've been able to do it, but they have been able to. Their mid approach, though, is going to be denied again. No one is going to try to peek them through there. And you can see that they're still trying to poke forward, but they're not going to go too far forward so as to get punished. Now realizing that A side is going to be the target of transgressions. Here's going to be the Hunter's Fury expended, trying to get Z1A out of that corner, but Z1A is not going to be pinged at all in any way. They still know that they're hiding out there, so that flashbang is going to get them out. The aftershock coming in too late to save their teammate. That's going to be massive pick right there. And at this point, I wouldn't be surprised if we're going to see University of Maryland just hightail it out of there and start rotating their way over to C.
Yeah, C is a quick rotate, especially when they have an Omen that can ulti onto site for some info. But I think they're saving that ultimate for if they ever lose the bomb. Well, he's carrying it, so if you lose the bomb, he's not going to be able to ult. But what we are going to see is Psycho Pop hearing all of this rotation, all of these footsteps. If you look at that mini map, it is active. It is a buzz of bees just trying to rotate. But wait a minute. There's a KJ on A, lurking behind them. Psycho Pump doesn't care about that, though. Will be able to grab one. The bomb is getting planted. Defense is using the lockdown, but they still have to worry about this Killjoy, who has been flanking the entire time.
Oh, this is gonna be rough if they don't realize that KJ's coming up behind them. V-Dubs picks up one. Remagi gonna trade it out onto Mio Akiyama. And it looks like, yes, the lurk is paying off massively in spades. They did their job. They did their duty. They did what they came to do. And now, of course, the infamous C-long post plant becoming nigh impossible for them to actually get anything here. Psycho Pump doing what they do best.
Wow.
Saving the round, saving the day here for Northwestern University and tying things up 11-11. Edu, that was the round, though. That was the round that needed to be won.
It was. And if Mio hadn't been able to land those shots, the op, it wouldn't have been won. Psycho Pump as well, getting so many kills. I got to just highlight these two players. I mean, 25 and 14, 23 and 15. These two on this defensive half have been doing an amazing job to the point where they have more kills than all of Attack. And Attack, yeah, they had it rough, but it's tied up again, and they need to just get one more to guarantee them a slot in the overtime or just GG. But for the first time in a long time, they are going with a little bit of B aggression here, Sam. And if they could take B, this should be a free round for them, as their post-plant hold has been dangerously scary. Case in point, ZIA is going to be able to grab Dusty with the trade. Mio's grabbing another one. Defense is happy about that, but what is that, ZIA? You can't be doing that.
Oh, then Mio picking up a couple with the operator before just dashing right back into it. But again, it's the Psycho Pump game. It's the Psycho Pump world, Edu. And we're all just living inside of it. Now, match point for Northwestern University. It was so close to falling out of their hands, but at the very least, they can look forward to, even if they lose out on this round, going into overtime. Now, for the third time, we're seeing a timeout. Second one from University of Maryland.
Yeah. Now, if Maryland is able to just finish this off here and get them into OT, I think the way that they have adapted to being on Attack has definitely proven themselves in overtime, where you don't have to worry about money. You don't have to worry about, what you're going into. There won't be any ops in the hands of Mio if they can't afford it. And in overtime, it kind of locks that out, or you might get one tapped by a Phantom. So there's a big trade-off there. Do you want to bring that op in? Overtime, of course, being on the table scares Northwestern a lot here. They have to just end it out, or they won't be able to end this game, in my opinion. They need some of these crutches. They need Psycho Pump to be able to pop off. In my opinion, I think that if they can manage to find out where this Omen is playing and just isolate a 1v4, if they're happening to be playing on C, that wins them the round. Psycho Pump has been the insane clutch gamer that you need to have on your team if you want to bring this game into overtime or even into just finishing it off.
It can be incredibly demoralizing, right? Going from 9-3 and seeing how close things are getting. But Psycho Pump has been firm in their approach of being able to save the day time and time again. And also talking about what Mio can do on this operator. Up in the air, though, we are seeing Dusty pop the blades, maybe be able to find a head, but no one is going to give their head away for free. And so still looking at identical numbers, an A long push, a split in 2 through long, 2 through sewers. For the high ground, though, you gotta be ready for Psycho Pump.
I mean, you have to be ready. You have to hold this down, but there's no amount of prep that's going to prepare you to get into that heat zone, that real element of, oh, wait, if we lose this, we lose. There's a lot on this. And if we don't win this round, we're going to have to be going into game 2 with a huge disadvantage, especially that I believe game 2 is going to be bind as well. So not easy, not great, but Dino Sauce right around the corner should be able to find one if they can. And yeah, will find 2.
Massive.
And their teammate finds another. C1A though. Down, and Dino with the triple, 1 remaining. Can they find this final player?
30 seconds left.
I'm gonna have to. Psycho Pump might be the sacrificial lamb, but then you know where Remagi is, and indeed so they are. They're going to be able to get that backstab onto them, but knowing that Remagi is going to be in C-Long, running out of time, they have no other option, Edu. They have to go up through C-Long. Going to throw out the Swarm Grenade, but blinded out. Really, at this point, it just becomes a time game. Delay them for as long as you can. Throw out the Concuss. Throw out the bullets. Really? And now it is all done and dusted. Dino Sauce with 4 kills on the board, bringing Northwestern University to a 13-11 victory. And that round was completely Dino Sauce's, Edu. Their patience on that C site was what won them that. They were getting collapsed on by basically the entire team, utility being dumped on them. But what do? They don't panic. They don't run away. They hold their ground. And that was more of what Northwestern needed. They needed to hold that ground. And obviously it came up big time with a lot of victory, obviously, in their favor.
Yep. Lots of W's taken here in game number 1 from both sides. You know, I rarely get to see a 9-3 turn into a near overtime. I mean, the 9-3 curse, you can believe it or you can't, but I believe that both of those teams played very well. So we should be seeing them keep up that momentum on a map very similar coming up next year. So I'm happy that we did see a lot of these guys going back and forth, but I cannot wait to see what's going to happen next. However, I'm going to have to, because we will be sending it to a quick break, everybody. So stick around. We will be right back in game 2 of this best of 3. And welcome back, everybody. That was a pretty intense game. Wouldn't you agree there, Sam? I mean, that was one that I did not expect it to get so close towards the end.
I didn't either, right? Especially when you look at that first half, 9-3, but then the curse, almost true to its name, ended up in a 13-11 scoreline. Still in favor of Northwestern. They were able to come out on the other side of that, the victor, after their phenomenal first half, but that still has to give you a little bit of pause, Edgy. That has to be some team discussion going on in the background. What just happened there? And I think we really did learn that neither one of these teams, the defense, not the best.
Yeah, let's take a look at that timeline real quick on the stats here. I mean, it was one team's domination, then the other team's domination, and then one team decided, wait a minute, we're supposed to be the guys winning. And then they turned it around towards the end. But honestly, I think that what we saw in this game was a lot of fear, a lot of, wait a minute, we've made a mess, we've misstepped, we've stepped over the line, and we don't know how to bring it back. And then that fear kind of dictated how they played. They were very passive in a lot of rounds, and then that's why attack did so well. If you're passive on a map like Haven, you're going to be giving up all that space, and now you're at a disadvantage. The bomb's planted, and you have no util because you've been throwing it, trying to scare these players away from your A site, and the bomb's planted C. It's little things like that that can really lead to demise on a map like Haven. But this next map that we have coming up here is going to be Ascent. And Ascent is a lot shorter of a distance between the sites. It's very much a slow-paced map still, but you don't have to worry about being spread thin. You have to worry about how much utility you have moving in. So I'm excited that we're going to be getting into that game pretty soon here. But what are your predictions moving into Ascent?
I mean, Ascent, same as Haven, we're probably going to be seeing a lot of the same mirror matchup. In fact, actually, probably a lot of the same agents. Sans the Breach, right? We're going to get the KOs. There it is, right? We get both of the KOs on screen, and pretty much mirror for mirror, except for Dusty may throw a little bit of a wrench into that plan, going for the double controller, potentially. Okay, all right. They threw me for a loop there. I called it a little too soon. They wouldn't have had a duelist, right? And if you don't have a duelist for Ascent, especially a duelist like Jet, where pretty vital agent for not only aggressing onto site, but a really powerful agent when it comes to defense. Operator Jet, famous for a reason. You put her on a mid angle, you put her in tiles, she's able to gain so much value with her dash and with that operator that it's almost like a no-brainer to bring Jet.
Yeah, I think you're right about that. I also believe that if they weren't going to have a Jet, this isn't March anymore. It's not the triple initiator strats. It's 2023. We're in November, all right? You know, we got the holidays coming up, and you can't be lacking your Jets. You can't be bringing the same strats that they used to be. So this is actually the main meta for Ascent. I think I've seen this team composition specifically be locked in roughly 60% of the time with no differences. So 60% of the games I've casted on Ascent have been KO, Jet, Silva, Omen, Killjoy. Nothing different. And it's so standard. It is so much what people know how to do on this map that it's going to be a very similar situation to how Haven is. It's kind of solved.
Kind of solved, but we're going to see whether or not the puzzle pieces are going to be in place for either one of these teams to complete that piece. And of course, for Northwestern being one up in this series, leads them towards that series point. If they're able to close it out here on Ascent, then they get another win on their pocket. And not only that, give University of Maryland their first black eye. And already Sin is going to send that Sova drone through. Now drone finding a lot of information, flushing out in the back line. Psycho Pump had nowhere to go, except for right into the bullets of Dusty, who picks up another one onto V-Dubs.
Nice. Great pick so far here. And they are going to keep it going, but Dusty ain't done. Cyber neither. Going to be able to get that. Z1A is gone. And now it's just up to Dino Sauce 313. This name, it just reminds me of Xbox 360. But right now, we're seeing these guys getting some clean picks here. And that is going to be the round. Another pistol round moving over to the side of attack. I guess, as we kind of talked about behind the scenes, Sam, these teams love their aggression. They like holding W. They don't like not being able to do that.
If they can't hold W, then kind of like everything falls apart for them, right? And especially when we look at our Jets, Dusty was popping off on that Ghost. They were even able to get a kill that I didn't even realize. And we weren't able to see how they got that one, but they just got it. And they 11 HP, picked up a third kill. Undeniable the value that these Jets are bringing, especially when you look at Dusty. But now, right, Mio has a Marshall, had a Marshall. It's still even, though. Still even.
Yeah, I mean, 3-3. Both teams have maybe 1 or 2 rifles in hand to make it work. But at this point, defense is looking a little bit happier with a chance to stop a B push. They have the Killjoy set up there, and Killjoy should be hearing all this util getting chucked. So it's all about how they use the Sheriff. You can stop Cyber from closing that door. Okay, you can't stop Cyber from closing that door, but defense, we got dubs here. We got the V dubs with the Marshall. All right, and that's something.
It is something. It's also something to see one of those bullets go a little bit in the wrong direction. You're whipping out the knife. You're really trying to make sure that Dusty doesn't pick up another one. How does V-Dubs win out against a Guardian with a classic? All right, it's still winnable here for Northwestern, but of course, same can be said for University of Maryland, especially with it being in their favor. Spike planted down on the ground. V-Dubs looking for any opportunity, firing through the wall, maybe able to pick up one here. Z1A makes the swing, had the Bulldog in hand, a big weapon upgrade. Now they need to look towards the box. Time is running out. Can V-Dubs do it again with the classic? They're gonna ping things out here, looking towards the right. They're gonna stick it, making sure to get halfway. Sticking it for a little bit too long. Cyber jump beacon that. They don't get out, but hey, you win the second round. Unfortunately here though, Edu, everyone fell. And so this anti-eco going into this for Northwestern was massive. They're going to be able to get their rifles, and for University of Maryland, going to have to try and piecemeal something together.
Yeah, that was deadly in how they played it out. I will say, I thought it was hilarious that V-Dubs literally just stuck it while getting shot at. It was just like, I'm completely unfazed. You know, he just stands there and rocks it. So that is something that says this team is very confident. And I'm hoping that confidence is going to translate into how they perform. But so far, Attack is having this advantage. This time, though, they are running out. As you said, everyone died. But what? V-Dubs having to maybe respect some bullets this time. Will get taken out. Z1A grabs Dusty. And Mio Akiyama might be able to get something from heaven. But defense, they've scared away Attack.
Z1A thinking that maybe someone might be coming through tiles. That is going to be huge from Remagi, taking down the only defender of B. And not only that, but it's the KJ Edu. So all of that utility now useless. Z1A, though, catching them on, trying to come out in different directions. Finds one kill there. Remagi using the swarm grenade, having to realize that something was going to be there. But no, Mio Akiyama was none the wiser. And Remagi was just hanging out, having the time of their life. They're gone. Alone by themselves. Z1A. 3 kills now. Edu. 2v1.
No way. Z1A nearly got him, but Attack is happy. They've won another bonus round. I will say that Maryland's Attack is just, in my opinion, nearly unstoppable. We saw that in the first half, or the second half of last game, and now they're putting themselves in such a position to lock this down here, Sam. So I'm scared if you are on the side of Northwestern, as there's not a lot that you can really do here to just finish back all of the damage that has been dealt by these guys. They are going to be going for a decent eco, but that's no guarantee that it's going to work.
I also like, too, that University of Maryland is able to just abandon a side if they don't think it's really going to work for them. And then when Remagi got the pick onto Dino Sauce on B, just open the door wide open, and the doors continue to be doors opening as Remagi, an expert, and somehow continuing to do it over and over again. Now a flashbang to flush them out further, picking up a new weapon. Didn't really need it, but Jinho is going to get the kill there. 15 HP though, that's still a little scary, but the numbers advantage are back in the favor of University of Maryland. They're still going to peek through, sacrificing their life, but they gathered a lot of information for that.
Yeah, lots of info. Clean from them being able to maybe find a few more, but I like that we already are seeing a Blade Storm be popped. So if defense, if they can manage to do anything here, it's going to be shut down this jet before they shut you down. And we are having an ultimate to try to do that. That's going to be a lot of damage dealt, 80 onto 2, and that is a huge amount of damage. It's everyone on the site, even kills Remagi there, and now leaving only 1 remaining. Or 2 remaining. My bad. Can't count.
Running around them. Counting's a little bit hard, but the execution there needed to be perfect, Edu, and it was. coming up right behind them. You got to give it to Psycho Pump for being able to land some of those shots the way that they do over and over. There you have it. That's going to be Northwestern getting their first round on the board.
Yeah, first round, I do like that we have Mio yet again pulling out the op. This was the make or break weapon. It either did work or it didn't. You know, that joke that people say when everything's a 50-50. When it comes to Mio's op, that is 100% the case. We have a coin toss whether or not this is going to work because their success rate is pretty, you know, hit or miss here. So are they going to hit or miss their shots? They got to have an opportunity to take out a KJ early. Looks like they missed that one, but that's okay because a quick rotation all the way around. They are giving up a lot of space towards A, and mid is where people want to be pushing, and Dusty missing that is going to be punished with a little bit of damage.
And then you're going to get Z1A out of mid, a little bit pinged out by that owl drone, but no one is going to follow through. So they're kind of just waffling around in mid. Psycho Pump stuck in a really rough corner, but at the very least there, Molly is going to secure that escape vector was rotating onto the other side. Not giving it up, however. They're still going to be in that doorway. Oh, this could be... If Mio can land the bullet here... Again, though, the timing is just so tight here for them to be able to land some of these shots. And now Jinho is going to go through with the KO ultimate. V-Dub's making that swing a lot.
Oh my god.
Better this time around. Much, much better. Finding so much success hiding behind that crate where they had found none the previous times before.
Yeah, great job there from V-Dubs. And finally, the op comes through to finish the round. Humanity is down, and that is exactly what we want to be watching from this defense team. They've managed to really just keep the momentum now back in their hands. They have crippled attack side. They have no money. They don't really have much to work with. Their sheriffs are going to be going up against ops, and 8Ks going against a Vandal is not ideal, but to try to balance that out, they have two ultimates. One combo that I rarely get to see used properly is the Omen Sova combo. If you use Omen and TP on site, you get so much info. It's kind of like using Yoru in Sova Hunter's Fury. So we might be able to see something like that, but already we're just seeing them run it down towards B. The op needs to find somebody here. Almost.
And so close right there. Mio Akiyama's going to stand their ground wide open, but no one is going to... Oh, do you see what I see? The swarm grenade double kill? And a flawless round.
I mean, that's what happens when you don't have full armor, because technically armor is HP in this game. So when you're only at 100, two swarm grenades melt you. So they got just crippled there. It was a painful way to play. I mean, it's just what happens if you don't shock dart lane and you're facing off against a KJ. That's why a lot of the time you'll see at really high level plays a shock dart, even if there's nothing there, still you got to invest in it, because Killjoy utility can massacre a whole team, as we watch. So now in this next round, that was a save round. That was a save. So I can understand why it ended like that. I mean, it's not your ideal, but we got rifles here, Sam. We should be able to see them try to turn this game around back into their favor, as it is now tied up, I believe, 3-3.
It is tied up, 3-3. University of Maryland really came out swinging big time, taking the first 3 rounds, taking their bonus round on top of that, right at you. And then the story starts getting rewritten a little bit. Northwestern University starts finding their legs here on Ascent. Now that that's starting to happen, then once Mio got the operator, sure, they haven't really done too much with it, but they've done just enough. And some of these strategies that didn't work out at the very beginning, for some reason, Northwestern is starting to find success with them. You can look at, like, say, round 5, where we've seen V-Dubs hiding behind the stone crate on A site time and time again. We're not flushed out and actually came out with the kills. That saved the round and just continues to push it further. Mio, one operator shot goes forth, but now realizing that there's a lot of pressure coming their way.
Oh, and walking into them while blinded, spotted, darted, everything was not for Mio to want to push that, and yet they did. And now we're getting the punishment for it. A beautiful amount of trades. Z1A is going to grab Sin down, and that's going to actually scare attack. So even though it was a scuffed start to a fight, it was in the favor of defense, because in defense's possession is the ability to retake with all of that lane control. Double swarm grenades that we saw massacre on before, it's still sitting on B, and they're close enough to see it. So it will be a big push, and they get both spotted on Cat. Z1A, shock dart, Z1A, 2 for you to go.
Oh, and they're still going to be so far forward inside of the smoke. If someone to peek through that, they know that they're going to be there too. The recon dart is going to gather massive amounts of information, bring out the sheriff, try to break the door. You do break the turret. Now going up onto the high ground, the glass is broken, and you still do have your teammate. You still do have Dino Sauce alive to try and go for this retake, but not much utility to be able to make that happen. Neither one of them being able to work with really anything to their name. And this is going to be a full Ginny hold. Z1A, though, always the hammer to start things off.
Oh, nearly got caught out on that box, but they don't, and they will get 4 kills. Z1A holds A beautifully and just manages to keep themselves not only in this game, but back on the lead here. That is what defense needed. And unfortunately, attack, they just had a timeout, and I think they're going to have to get a little bit of a timeout from their coach. They're going to need to know what went wrong. In my opinion, it was just how they got really scared by all of the damage that Sova did early. And yeah, it's a lot of damage. This guy's 14-3 right now.
Let's talk about that. 14-3, Z1A. We go back and look at Haven, where they were 12-18. 14-3? We're only on round 7. We've only done 7 rounds. We're now in round 8. Z1A is playing out of their minds. And in just different ways, too. I mean, 4 kills in that last round? It's unbelievable what this player is doing. And how they're setting forth the tempo, it feels like, against the University of Maryland.
I mean, they set up the tempo, and now they can just, set up the dominoes, but get knocked down. Jinho will be able to grab Mio, and if Mio cannot hold mid, who's going to be able to do it? Looks like nothing but a turret trying to just go pew-pew, a little bit of damage, but the timing that Z1A has is not good enough. A swing with the sheriff will get him down. Jinho grabs Dino Sauce, and look at this, Psycho Pump. They got lineups for days, but where is it going to land? A little bit high, and it doesn't actually spot out one. Actually, no, it does. It grabs Remagi as they ran right back into it to grab a Vandal. But that's a little bit of info. They have no idea where this KO is playing from. But will they be able to turn around in time? Psycho Pump.
Oh, the operator from Dusty that they picked up. Not what you wanted to have happened there. V-dubs alone, by themselves, a 1v5. And sometimes in these situations where you just could be looking for the exit frags, now they're going to be hearing the footsteps coming towards them. It's kind of a horror story. They're able to get one shadow step over. It was so close. It was almost there. For Remagi, just a little bit quicker before that happens, and a thrifty round is going to be given over to University of Maryland. They don't pick up the operator. They decided to forego that. They're attacking, and so it's kind of in that that mindset. They don't really need it. But look at this Edu. It's a 4-4 score line. But more importantly than that, it's a full ultimate team for Northwestern University. Every single ultimate online.
Yeah, I mean, when you have 5 ults, it could maybe, just maybe, help you out a bit. But we do have 3 ultimates that attack has, 1 away to make it 4. But I don't think we're going to be seeing some of these ults. We're not going to be seeing a Blade Storm unless they go in for the retake. We're not going to be seeing, the Omen ult unless they really need some info. So in all reality, it's really 3 ults against 3 ultimates at best. And Cyber is going to grab Psycho Pump. So there's 1 ult that you don't get. So you can talk about the ultimates, but let's talk about how this team has been able to just take full control over mid, and defense knows it. They are panicking right now if they cannot get a grasp on these angles. This one way definitely helps them out a bit, but they have to reset it as fast as possible. Psycho Pump in all chat just went Omen hit 105, so hopefully the attack now knows the Omen is hit for 105.
MB. They're also really looking as well for where Mio is with that operator. V-dubs, hey, planting down some more trees, getting some fertilizer there. Mio Akiyama, the defender of heaven, and now here comes the Hunter's Fury. Mio does it again. Oh my god.
Wow. Attack really had a great start, but, it's kind of like a turtle versus hare race. Do you want to run your way through? Because the slow team always wins the race if they just keep going with consistency. And right now, the more consistent team is going to be Northwestern. They have a lot on their plate, and they're really rocking it. So Z1A, keep that going. We got V-Dubs right behind them. Keep that going. And Mio, this op is here to put fear in the eyes of Maryland. And Maryland doesn't have much to work with outside of just their ability to try to group up and hopefully not get picked off one at a time by Mio's op.
Hopefully. They know also where Mio's starting to set up now. Mio's done this a couple of rounds in a row where they're looking at this tiles, and now it's going to be overloading. It's University of Maryland using that null command ultimate from KO. Bring themselves onto the side, stop out that KJ utility, clear it all over the place. Still, a swarm grenade is going to survive through. They're giving it a respectful amount of distance. 2 ultimates expended to be able to take B site, but this is something that University of Maryland needed because they need to at least get something going here for themselves.
Yeah, and oh, that is a scary ultimate. It's not by switch, so it is going to just force these players back into Boathouse, and that could combo in with some kind of ultimate if they had, you know, the Omen or this, but wait a minute, second pump going in, and we have a counter ult, huge from them. Dusty grabs Mio. There goes your opper. Z1A is here to stay, but that is another double kill. And where is the final player on site? They're just back-to-back falling, and the aim from Dusty isn't the same as it was in game number 1.
No, it wasn't. Nor was it the same as what we saw from them at the very beginning of Ascent either. That Guardian flailing a little bit, and now we're looking at a 6-4 score line in favor of Northwestern University. It's better though, right? Out of whatever's going to be happening here, it is going to be better than Haven. Worst case scenario now for University of Maryland is an 8-4 first half. And so at least we're starting to see some of that consistent improvement coming out from them. The only difference here though is that this is on attack. This is University of Maryland where we saw them at their best, and also where we thought it was going to continue that momentum moving forward. But Northwestern University has just been a devil on them. And stopping them in so many different ways that they just really, they kind of just get dismantled, right? They just lose out in these gunfights. They get stuck into corners, and Northwestern University just collapses on them.
Yeah, big collapse. Beautiful flashbang is going to just get him caught out, and Psychopomp grabs him again. Z1A is here to stay and might be able to scare him away, and they will. They're going to have to rotate over to B or mid if they actually want to take a site here. And unfortunately for them, it is a lot of damage that they have received. The Sova is low. They already have lost their jet. They don't have an entry here. And as we talked about at that agent select, you need that jet. You need that duelist because Ascent punishes you if you cannot get through these choke points. But they are rescinding and going back onto A. I like this idea. It's just, you know, try to fake it out a bit. But because that Killjoy turret's still there, they're still able to know we got to stay. 2 players are on here, and they're throwing all of the util. There's the pick, though.
There's the pick, but look at the health bars. It's not looking good here. University of Maryland, even more so if V-Dubs is able to pick up another kill. Z1A walking through the smokes, unfortunately walking right into their death. Dinosauce now the last remaining player here on the side of Northwestern University. Yeah, it's going to be tough. It's a 1v3. Hey, all right. Tough becoming a little bit easier. Pick by pick, play by play.
And both players right in front of them. Has to split their attention, though. But both are so low. 1 HP each. And not checking hell is going to be the misplay, the misstep. The Dinosauce does. Gets extinct just like the other dinos. But now it's the last round. Before the swap, we got 6-5. This could be a 6-6. Another close game in our midst. Not a 9-3, though. This is a very different approach and kind of what Ascent does to us. I mean, Ascent, I think, has the most likelihood of going into overtime out of any map that I've worked. And overall in esports, if you are on Ascent, get ready for a 40-minute match.
Yeah, we're going to be here for a little while, so make sure you go out, stay hydrated, get your popcorn, get some snacks, because this game is only just getting started. This game is only just getting heated. A good recon dart in mid, seeing if anyone's hiding out there. Once again, you're looking to see where Mio is with that operator. You're looking to try and flush them out. Cindy's using every single piece of utility. Z1A has to realize it's going to be there. This is going to be a rough position. They're going to try and use the recon dart. That paranoia could have saved the day for them. V-Dubs trading it out, but Remagi holding their position in Fountain. gets the kills there, and this could be the opening. But Mio, guess what?
Strike down A.
Dropped with an op is always fun to watch. Now, honestly, I think what we can expect here is maybe some more picks. Jinho actually grabbed Psychopomp, and Dino Sauce now finally saying, okay, they can't be B. Mio, good luck, get ready. We do have a lot of players mid, and they know about it. Dino has the timing, has the footsteps. Trigger discipline, grabs the spike carrier down. That's going to force this KJ right back into her hands. Rimachi has to hold it down. And, oh, is it going to be KJ versus KJ? No, he grabs the spike. He's out. Just got it for free. And now they will be on B side, but it's a 2v1. And Mio has dropped the op. It's not a Mio operator. It's going to be just up to one player.
One enemy remaining.
Okay. It was just up to one player. They turned a 2v1 into a 1v1, and I'm not the best at math, but that's pretty equal footing. It's a KJ versus a KJ. And Dino Sauce's inability to pick up the kill onto Magi gives them the clutch, gives them a 6-6 first half. I can't believe it. That was... What a first half, right? We were even talking about it in the green room before the game even started, that this was going to be a close game, and this 6-6 first half is proving that right here, right now.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, this is a lot of damage being dealt. This is scary amounts of shutdown for both sides. I mean, if you give, if you give a mouse a cookie, he's going to get an ace. I mean, that's how it feels in this one, because if you give an opportunity to Maryland, they'll take the round. But if you give an opportunity to Northwestern, they'll make it look like they always had it in their hands. So this is a real back and forth here, Sam. But now that we're getting into this next half and we're back to pistols, it's going to be who gets to build their economy up first and who gets to keep that economy up.
Yeah, and I'm really excited here to see the Wildcats' attempts on their attack, and if they're going to be able to find the same success. It's just okay. Okay, all right, that's what we needed to have happened there. Dino Sauce trying to forgive themselves the transgressions of what happened in that last round, foregoing that clutch, and this is the showing that we wanted to see here from Northwestern on their attack. This is what we know that they are best at, and how dominant they are. Dino Sauce, okay, we get it. We forgive you.
Yeah, couldn't clutch the last one. Definitely going to be clutching up this one. But talking about clutches, you got Cyber. Made this 4v1, a 1v3. Might be able to make it work for you. All you have to do is just find a few more. But that turret's going to make it nigh impossible. Lots of damage. And bye-bye to your brainstem. Psychopomp is going to just be able to penetrate that one. And this is going to be a round for Northwestern now. And Northwestern, we love this team on attack. Their defense was actually pretty solid here. So this could be a map in their favor, as it is map number 2. And if I look back, I think this is their map pick as well. But I could be wrong.
I believe it is University of Maryland. Yeah, so
Placing sentry.
their map pick, their choice. This is a little bit of dire straits. We do know, however, University of Maryland can bring things back around on these anti-eco rounds, so potentially something could be found there. Full stack on B, thinking that Northwestern is going to try and go for that A. It's a gamble, but the default that's being that's happening right now from Northwestern might make that gamble not quite work out for them.
Yeah, and my opinion, my history of gambling is sometimes the house always wins. So who's owning the house right now? Well, it's Mio grabbing Dusty down and keeping it going and just holding their team together. The glue that makes it work is that jet entry, and that's going to be the first person and an A point. But this round is important for defense. They need to start getting some kills. All you have to do in this save round is to manage to get 2, but you only managed to get 1 so far. You have an opportunity. You're pushing back in. You even have a Spectre to make it work.
C1A, you're already going with a Vandal in the second round of the second half. Looking over in a different direction, thinking they might come through the smoke, but they're going to have to be ready because Cyber has set themselves up with even just a minor weapon upgrade. It's just time to start spraying, praying, use that recon dart, figure out where exactly it is. They do ping them, and a couple of bullets hit Magi. They're still trying to run away, but at this point, you just fire through the wall, and you come up with everything you could ever want and more. And even if that didn't happen, the pinch was coming.
Yeah, that was a tight pinch there. And now Of course, it was a round against no weapons, and I keep saying it, but the normal Valorant curve, we don't actually start seeing the game turn up until round 4 after the bonus round, after we have both teams being able to buy. So defense, you have just what it takes to hopefully bring these weapons to fruition, bring the real rifles into the game, and start making moves with it. Money moves make easy games, but are they going to be able to do it when they are pushing right into them? Attack, they want a bonus on B, and it makes sense, but C1A starts it off with a shock dart to do some damage, is going to get right out of the vision, but there's just so much of this initiate utility that's scaring him into this little corner. No way he gets away with that.
Neo's
No
gonna walk
way.
in there and get a kill? The
Apparently
bright
so,
side here,
Sam.
though, is that it kind of took Northwestern a long time to get onto site because they were trying to look for some of those kills. The rest of the team dallied a little bit, but the dalliance, at the very least, you found something out of it. Even though your Jet may have fallen, they did their job. They got the kill. Oh, and as you're bringing out the utility, it's still a 1-for-1 trade, blinded out by a perfect paranoia.
Nice.
Could not see the Remagi Reaper in front of them. Spike is going to be defused, and that is going to be a bonus round denied here for Northwestern. University of Maryland Terrapins. Terps looking to fight back.
And they're fighting pretty hard. Now, Sam, I will say that this is the game start. This is now first half. It's 6-6. This next half, this is going to all come down to if we can see some real rifles get brought. And yeah, we got a lot of buys coming out from defense and attack. They have the opportunity now. They lost their bonus, but the bonus just means they get a little bit extra. They have more than enough to buy fully rifles. And I don't think Sind is going to have the honor. That is going to be a Sova with an Ares on Ascent. We know how it works. Is it going to be able to cut through these players? It looks like it doesn't actually do any damage yet, but it will spook them to go anywhere but B.
Yeah, they're going to back out of there. The Ares spam is always something scary to contend with. It's also scary when it gets upgraded into an Odin. And you did do enough damage onto Z1A that they don't have their shields anymore, and they're missing 28 HP. A minor victory, right? You take those wherever you can get them, especially if you're University of Maryland. Try to get whatever edge that you can on Northwestern. But more importantly, you've kind of put Northwestern on this back foot where now that University of Maryland has rifles, look at how they're playing. They're trying to go for these defaults. They're trying to find maybe a pick here and there. Psychobomb's going to have to be really careful because setting themselves up in wine is Dusty. The second they try to go through these smokes, Dusty is going to backstab them. Or maybe not even just wait for that. They're just going to take the timing, the swing, and the kill.
Is it a backstab if you shoot him in the face? Who knows? But
Yes.
what I do know is we got Cyber here. We got Cyber. Oh my God. Z1A. Clean pick, and that's going to cook him up. Z1A does it again. Dusty is down. Jinho spraying through. Will be able to get out of the smoke, but not be able to finish the job. And they're just getting aggro with it, but that aggression is going to get them another frag. But your magic is here. Knows that Mio's close. No way. What a read. What a read. Check the PC, everybody. We got to know what this player is playing on because that was some sus gameplay, but didn't get the kill. But this re-hit might.
Good for... Okay, there we go. Remagi. They got the reads, they got the plays, they got the headshots. They still need to break through this door, though, and they still need to win out in a 1v2. Especially when you look at how spread out they are. It's the double swing to end the day, to save the day here for Northwestern. Get a little bit close at the end, but they are now up 9-7. Getting close to those double digits.
That's what we like to watch. Now 9-7. We have some ultimates on the line as well. We have the lockdown, but more importantly, in my opinion, we have Mio's Blade Storm. If Mio wants to, they can start using that Blade Storm now to build back up their economy and pull out an op if they have to. But against a full team that can't afford, I can understand that they're not actually going to be bringing a lot of heat. We're not going to see any ultimates. We're just going to see good old-fashioned bullying, in my opinion, because it's rifle versus pistol again.
We got bully Northwestern. Yeah, you hate to see it, Edgy. You really do hate to see it. And Mio Akiyama has to be filled with that knowledge because they're still trying to take these peaks, they're still trying to take these fights, but it becomes so much more difficult, especially when you look at Cyber having this classic. Really, all at this point you're doing is gathering information. You're trying to figure out where Northwestern is going to be hitting. And if you see right there, they're setting themselves up for this A-side hit. The smokes go down. Recon dart, the utility being dumped here. That's going to be the initiator.
Wow, and that initiation leads to a free bomb plant by Jen, but it's not so free. The Sheriff through the smoke grabs Dino thanks to a wonderful recon dart. That's the power of Sova. All right, wall hacks, always nice. V-Dubs is going to be proving themselves solid, but what is that?
Okay.
The Sheriffs are still popping off. A double kill down. We even have an ultimate to lock them onto the point here, and that could just set everything for success. But there's one.
Player standing.
Psycho, you have to clutch. You got to get them all, but you can't. And that's a thrifty round one by defense.
Thrifty.
The site retake worked out really well for them. They just backed away. They gave up a lot of that space and made Northwestern University play their game. And I think they're starting to actually realize this as well. I did like that lockdown too at the very end, just to make sure that they secure this round. Rematch, I really didn't have a lot of opportunities to be able to use it, and I think that was the perfect time where you're really just trying to make sure that you can secure the weapon upgrades, you can secure the ability to actually be able to get onto site with the rest of your team. But not only that, Dusty now working with an operator. Let's see what they're going to be able to find the same success that Mio has been having on theirs. Nope.
Wow. Oh my god, nice knives. But there it is. Psycho Pump grabs another, keeps swinging, now has an op in their own hands. But no, they can't use it. They get dropped through a smoke. Jin Ho grabs Psycho Pump, but they can pick him back up and will. That's Dino Sauce as the support, and that's V-Dubs as the aim dueler, grabbing yet another one on a rematch. Now, Jin Ho, you were able to take out the KO once. You're going to have to do it again, but it looks like they're just getting reversed on. C1A, do it again. Oh my god, no way. No way.
Such good recon darts. But somehow Psycho Pump is landing operator shots through the wall. You just have an idea of where they're going to be, and that is the power of that recon dart. Cyber's just getting run down. It's a Ferrari peak. Z1A, what do you do? Z1A, no way you're going to disrespect Cyber like that. They pulled out the knife. They were skirt, and they're going to try and land the knife kill? Unbelievable.
Wow. I mean, it's, as we said, bully Northwestern. And they are bullying these players a lot. They even have the op to save dropped right back in the hands of Mio. Mio's Blade Storm worked out wonderfully. And now it is scary to see the buys that are coming out from defense. This is so scuffed. They have to just go with 2 hero rifles this time and maybe make it work with some classics. I mean, Sam, we've seen a lot of people in a lot of different positions, but this happens to be probably the worst one you could be on. And it doesn't matter, though, if you make it work. Dusty and Cyber are getting the frags anyways.
I don't know what it is about University of Maryland, but when they don't have guns, when they don't have rifles, they just start popping off with sheriffs. It's like something activates inside of them. Maybe that aim labs training all coming in at once. They're getting flashbacks. I don't know. I don't care, because I am in awe of what this team is consistently able to do on rounds where they shouldn't be finding that much success out of the buys that they do have. And for what we're seeing from Northwestern, it's again going to be that A-side hit. This time around, though, there's going to be a lot of KJ utility that they need to chew through, and no jet that's going to help them get onto there. That's not good either. That's a little scuffed.
Oh, no. Oh, no. Oh, no. Defense, you're going to have to try to retake this. You have a lot of utility to make it work, but if Ree just swings in, it has to pay off, and it doesn't. It only gets 1, but is that enough as V-Dubs is still alive? You had to shut him down. 1 remaining, you know their tree, and by the way, they're going B.
Going B! And that's going to completely fake out Cyber, who thought they were still going to try and plan it on A. Why would you do anything else other than that, right, Edu? That has to be running through their mind. You give an Omen an opportunity, you give especially V-Dubs an opportunity. You're going to take that. Smokes are going down. Shadow stepping in on top of the table. They're going to have to walk through their smoke. It's going to have to be filled with confidence, because otherwise V-Dubs is going to rip your head right off. V-Dubs, 4 kills. The god of that round.
Yeah, I mean, V-Dubs nearly died, but didn't. All right, if you can't kill this Omen, you can't win the round. That's what V-Dubs has proved in that moment. And you know what's funny about that situation? the Killjoy that ran in, that went for that Hail Mary play that got one, had their ultimate. Could have just popped the lockdown, could have completely scared these players away, but instead went for the Hail Mary play, and that's what is going to give them the round over to V-Dubs. So now we're looking at a timeout, reasonably called, because if you're an IGL or a coach on that team, you're saying, we need less hot plays. We need to stay a little cold with it. Go chilly, go freezing, all right? And hold these sites, or you're not going to be able to take it.
And again, I was giving a lot of praise towards University of Maryland and how they were playing out these rounds with some of the buys that they're making. But then there's that little bit of a desync when it comes to how they actually start winning out on some of these engagements. They pick up better weapons, but still somehow Z-Dubs is able to walk away with a 4K. You can't let that happen, right? That's that moment where you need to, like you said, the IGL needs to maybe readjust themselves, reorient themselves. There needs to be maybe some better call out of the utility. And it could have been massive had we seen Remagi pick up more than the one that they did. Z1A, just right off the rip, though, it's going to be actually dual hunting Hunter's Furies. They're going to intersect. Don't intersect the Hunter's Furies.
Yeah, this is Ghostbusters now. And wait a minute. Mio. Oh, almost got the jump on them. Great timing to get into the smoke, but not to get out of it. V-Dubs, though, they're on high ground, and they're going to high places. All you have to do is just keep it moving. Dino Sauce is going to get spotted over by mid, but they have their lockdown as well to keep it on, and that's a lot of damage being dealt. There's everything that they have cooking, and how are you still standing, V-Dubs?
Oh, no.
Unpunished every time.
They finally do get punished, but they were using that Cloudburst to their own effect, to their own success. He's going to be coming the defuse, but no one is going to be there.
Oh my God.
Psycho Palm. There's not going to be enough time, but they're still going to pick up 2. Remagi closing this down, and it's that timeout. We're finally, actually, this is going to be one of the first timeouts to Edu that we see that's actually going to have a positive result at the end of it.
Yeah, this is very positive to watch how these players are just duking it out back and forth. Now, I will say, Z1A slowed down a lot this game. They had an insane start, 14-3, and yes, 20-11 is quite nice, but we're not seeing the same level of domination that this player is bringing out. Instead, V-Dubs has decided that I want the top frag, so maybe we might see them try to trade spaces in a minute here. So if Z1A starts turning up exactly the same level that they did in the first half, this game's going to end in the next 2 rounds. If they don't, then we're going to be watching a potential comeback here from the side of defense.
There's also another star player that's been kind of quiet, Mio. But when we talk about Ascent, right, you got to have that. Oh no! Blinded out and just in such a bad position that Dusty is going to walk right in, punish them, and walk right out. They may have only 45 HP left, but you're going to take that. You're going to take the kill and take that every single day as much as you can. They're going to get caught out by that 0-point knife, but there's no one who's going to take advantage of it. Really, you're only going to figure out that Dusty is still hanging out close.
Let's see it now. An ultimate, that's going to help out. Attack wants to get onto this A site. They've invested a lot in this to scare these players back. They are going to get a bunch of info, though, and the sprays come through. Z1A grabs one, but does not get taken out. And we have one player on site, and unfortunately, Sind will get caught off, but no one's going to be able to jump on them yet. We still have a lot more ultimates to use. We have the null command to scare these players back. Great owl drone spots, too, but they don't spot the Jet, who's about to drop right on in. And luckily, Z1 doesn't care. We'll hear them to get the pick. And we do have the KO falling by wall bang power. Z1A can't stay alive, and Sam, it's down to just 2, but a flank from V-Dubs could make or break this round.
The problem is they're not going to be able to see through generators, so Dino Sauce is going to have to come up big. Firing through the smoke. Remagi is just going to stick this. Here comes the recon dart that's going to give out enough information. And University of Maryland, they're doing it. They're going the distance. The Terps, they still have some swing. They still have some fight. That timeout giving them everything and then some. A beautiful retake, though, however. It all started off with catching Mio. And Mio's been having kind of a rough couple of rounds here now, Edu, where they want to take these engagements, but utility or just losing out in the gunfights, they're just not having too much impact. And this compounds so much here at Northwestern University losing their jet. They just can't do anything.
Yeah, we're not seeing much that can be dealt, but it's going to take a little bit of time to start cooking this back up. And Sin, no way. Nearly gets the spray down through. Z1A will keep planning in the same spot. They love planning Gen. It's the safest, it's the freest, and it will be a free site. No one has died yet. Sam, they're pretty happy about this kind of gameplay, but what I'm also happy about is the damage being dealt for the shock dart. Mio gets one, but that's a judge. Dusty managing to grab it and grab the gun, and the wall bangs are coming through, but it's always traded away. 3-2, 3-3. Nice.
It's going to be a blind in favor of a blind. Jinho making sure to put their mark down on the ground. 4 HP! And a team ace. All it took was Psycho Pump and V-Dub swinging at the same time, getting headshots at the same time to bring Northwestern University, the Wildcats, onto match point. They still have a lot of fight. These claws are sharp.
Yeah, these are hopefully going to be the sharp claws that grasp victory right now. This is only one round away from Northwestern taking this best of 3 series all the way to that's exactly what we want to be seeing from them. I can tell there's a lot of fans of Northwestern in the chat. They want to hype up this team. They have been doing a great job at it. So in the last few rounds of this game, I better see some noise, because these guys are making noise and making waves in the big esports conference.
This is going to come out in a big way here in the big esports conference if Northwestern University is able to close this series out on Ascent. They're going to give University of Maryland their very first loss, and even more so giving themselves the knowledge that, yeah, okay, all right, we got this in us. We got that fight. Jinho, though, taking a quick swing, using that, and Z1A, there's no time to be wasted. There's a Hunter's Fury that needs to find its targets, and one after another. University of Maryland is just starting to collapse under the weight of Northwestern University's oppressiveness. Spike is going to be planted. Z1A, they were quiet, but not anymore.
Wow, and with the TP like that coming out, it's massive, but it's flawless. To finish it out, it's like they channeled all of the energy that was brought by chat into that final round, and those Wildcats played beautifully. That had to have been probably the best collegiate level gameplay that I've seen in a long time.
I couldn't agree more, right, Edu? These are the kind of games that you're going to take that score line that you see right here. You're going to frame it. You're going to put it on the fridge. You're going to say, Mom, get the camera. There was a lot of things that were going so right here for Northwestern University. And it was still moments that are kind of scary. There's still a lot, obviously, that they can work on. But you remember and you look back on this, you came into this 1-4 against a team that is 3-0. And not only did you win out, you won out 2-0. You didn't drop a map. You also didn't drop a map that was getting really close to a 9-3 curse being all the way to completion. Yeah. And you are also seeing a lot of standout plays from all of your players. It felt like everyone was kind of firing on all cylinders from Northwestern, whether it was on Haven or whether it was on Ascent.
Yeah, even though that game was a little bit rough in game 1, it was still a 9-3. They still proved that they had a little bit of a great chance at just taking the reins and running with it. But Maryland, we cannot stop talking about how clean they were able to really bring that back. They brought a ton of heat. They put all of their energy forward. And that is why, even though they didn't win today and it was a 2-0, if you look at this game back, it does not feel like a 2-0. It's something that even Maryland has a lot to take pride in, obviously a lot to learn from. So if Maryland is doing a VOD review, I'm hoping that they are going to be able to take on some notes there about, when are you supposed to be aggressive, little things like that. Because when it comes down to it, a Valorant game like this only ends in this because of those micro fails, those mini things. But I think that is all that we have for the day there, Sam. So any final words from my wonderful co-caster, guy who talks, Sam talks.
Guy who talks, Sam talks, guy who educates, Edu. Listen, Edgy, I both of these teams obviously have a really bright future ahead of them, and I think especially what we got out of them in week 5, they have that promise in them. They have that fight. They have that spirit. I think Northwestern going through more games gave them that edge, right? They've gone through 5. University of Maryland really only has gone through 2. And so University of Maryland, this is the opportunity, right? Even though you've lost here, this just shows that you have room for growth. This shows that you still have that opportunity to learn from these mistakes and learn from these faults. And it was like you said, take the lessons at heart, take these VOD reviews, use them to become better. And for Northwestern University, obviously a big congratulations on your win tonight.
And that is, of course, a big win and a big day concluded. So thanks again, everybody, for watching. If you want to make sure to check out the BEC, they have, of course, the YouTube channel, which you guys might be watching. Make sure to subscribe to that. Or you can also follow NECC2 to get any other ones if you're more of a Twitch kind of person, or just follow them on Twitter as well. Just type in Big Conference Esports or Big Esports Conference. These guys are probably the biggest esports conference with the name Big Esports Conference that you'll find. But with that being said, thanks again, everybody, for watching, and we will see you next time, hopefully with some more of this wonderful gameplay.